Hello, my friends, and welcome to the latest spin. I'm Mike Spinner, Student Athlete World USA, and I'm back, people. It's been a minute, hasn't it? And I got to tell you, um, the pause in the weekly videos was done purposely. We got to June, our tours began with the Pyrenees Basket Cup and I went on my tour United World Games. And if you follow this space, you saw the number of videos I was able to send from Austria and from Germany and everywhere else we went. And at that point, once we're in the middle of tour season, the priority becomes presenting our tours to you as they're happening. So for me to do this video and flood you with things that aren't tour related, to me just seemed counterproductive almost. You don't have too much, right? And then we got to August and enjoyed a little bit of downtime once our tours were over, but now we're back. We are at this. We're filling rosters for 2026, and we're coming at you bigger and better than ever. And by the way, how about the hat, right? Now, there's a story behind this hat. So if you have watched our pictures and videos from our tours, I tend to travel with Student Athlete World and dress like a flag. And so I got my Stars and Stripes shorts, my Student Athlete World gear, and always a hat. I'm a hat guy. I have all my hair, but I'm a hat guy. I've now made it a mission that I'm always got the Student Athlete World shirts. Like right now I'm in the hoodie, but I have t-shirts, everything else. But I've made it a personal mission to now get red, white, and blue other items, whatever they are. So the long story short, my tour began and concluded at Dulles Airport, right outside of DC. I've never, in my time on this world, done Washington, D.C. before. True story. Now, here I was, a political science and history major in college, and never did the D.C. thing before. I don't know why. I am so heavily into history. I was into politics until recently. Yeah, I figured when in Rome, right? So I did the DC thing for a few days in National Mall, Ford's Theater. And here's what I learned about DC. Number one, in general, DC is as expensive as any major city. It's crazy. Go to Hard Rock Cafe because it's near Ford's Theater and you get like a salad and a drink. It's like $40, but the tourist stuff, the purchases, the trinkets, the tchotchkes, the hats are so cheap. This is like $15. I'm like, well, that's going to go on me with my next tour. Now, here's my critique. This is navy blue, and when you hear red, white, and blue, in my opinion, it's royal. So this kind of clashes a little bit, and me being a little bit on the OCD side, I'm not loving this look, but I think with a white Student Athlete World shirt, it's going to work. But I'm gonna change hats. There we go. That's much better. That's more like it. So anyway, let's get into business. It's great to be back doing this, bringing our tours closer to you. And we have so much going on right now, so many good things. I just can't begin to tell you how excited I am for the coming year. First and foremost, the biggest thank you ever to our hundreds of athletes and families and coaches and friends who made the summer of 2025 one of the most successful, if not the most successful in our history. It was one of the biggest years we've ever had in terms of travelers and one of the most successful years we've ever had in terms of tours. We brought home a lot of medals. Okay, so I was at the United World Games. We had a basketball gold medal and a basketball bronze medal. A lot of medals across the board. Men's lacrosse, their first ever gold medal, and a silver medal in men's lacrosse. They play each other in a championship game at the Lisboa Lacrosse Cup, and a bunch of other medals across the board. Our teams really did great. Lacrosse, Lisboa Lacrosse Cup tour was the biggest and most successful tour we've ever had for lacrosse. It was amazing. We got a new sport off the ground in ice hockey, and it was a learning experience, and I'm not going to sugarcoat it. The tour itself was great. Our coaches were amazing. Our kids were fantastic. They played extremely hard. Hockey in Europe is no joke, and we saw it firsthand, and we learned. And hockey is a bright future with Student Athlete World USA. We had an awesome meeting yesterday, and we just now know that when we have hockey teams going to Europe, we have to be prepared for the best of the best. I mean, we played our U16 team, played the Dutch national team at some point. The same group that's going to be in the Olympics one day, representing Netherlands. I mean, that is how good the competition was. And it was just awesome to be a part of that. It was a wonderful experience. We got our butts kicked a little bit. I'm not going to lie, some real good games. But, for year one, though, it was awesome. And by the way, the coolest uniforms I think that Student Athlete World has to offer are the ice hockey jerseys. So we have a lot going for us with ice hockey, and we're going to look to grow there. But just a fabulous summer. I did the United World Games tour, my 4th tour with Student Athlete World, and loved it. It's for me, for those of you who have watched these videos over the years, and I'm in year 4 now. Like, it feels like it's been 5 minutes, but I'm now officially in year 4. I am as excited to travel the world for Student Athlete World today as I was 3 years ago. I did the United World Games for the 2nd time. I know my way around. I could run that tour completely, and I know everything but the local language. But I would do that tour. If I'm doing that tour in 2026, I'm a happy guy. I just love our tours. And I think it's important to note because, traveling halfway around the world is not an easy thing. And for me to do it, and if you're on tour with me, I'm the energetic, busy one. I'm always on my feet doing something. And to me, I wish I could do 3 and 4 tours every summer, to be honest. I love it. Can't wait to be somewhere in 2026. And so for me to have that desire to travel the way that I do, well, what does that mean for you, our potential traveler, right? It means you really want to go on our tours. They're getting better every year. Again, our family's had a wonderful experience this summer. But that's kind of the recap. Great summer. If you didn't follow us all summer, scroll back into June and July and look at what we did. But our tours were just amazing. And again, another huge thank you to all of our families. Now we've turned the page. We have a bunch of travelers ready for 2026, and that list is growing every day. What I'm really excited about is we are on track to have a record number of return travelers for 2026. We have dozens already signed up. We have more telling us they're going to sign up. And that is really special to me because it means we're doing our jobs really, really well. There's nothing better at this job. Well, there's nothing better than the traveling itself. But in terms of me seated in this chair in my home, seated and doing this work, there's nothing better than having a traveler come home for a tour. And first thing they do, I want to do this again. And we've had that a lot already with many more to come. And that really excites me. So if you're watching this and you've already done a tour with us and want to come back, get in touch with me. There's going to be many more with you doing that again. If you are a prospective traveler who's never traveled with us before, we're doing this so well right now. It's the best thing you're ever going to do in sports. The coolest thing, as Tim likes to say. And it really is. And the biggest news is new tours coming next year. So there we are having such a great year, big numbers, successful tours. And what are we doing? We're going to expand even further. All right. If you're a basketball player, take a look at the Balkans Express Tour, to Albania. Now, the first thing you're probably saying to yourself is, Albania, I don't know much about the country, right? It's not England, it's not France, it's not Spain where we go, of course. It's not that name that pops. But I can tell you that this tour is going to be pretty amazing because Albania, if you do your homework, there's no better country to visit. It's beautiful there. All right. The infrastructure there, meaning the ability to visit there and enjoy yourself, is off the charts. Now, on top of that, it is 25% less expensive than our other tours. And I'll just leave it at that. Go look it up yourself. It's more affordable than our other tours. And so, look, international travel is something that has a price to it. And that's just the reality of what we do. So for that family who is really going to struggle to piece it together, just know we have a tour that we're going to meet you 25% of the way. So look into that Balkans Express tour. It's going to be really, really good. Lacrosse, we're going to Costa Rica, Lax in Paradise, and that's a tour I'm really excited about. And if you're a returning lacrosse player, it's going to be amazing. We're calling it Lax in Paradise because me as a lacrosse club director, which I am, one of the things that I could tell you about just the travel experience is June into mid to late July is really intense with travel lacrosse tournaments, whether it's men's or women's. It's intense and it's hard to vacation and enjoy yourself because every weekend you're going somewhere and you have practice all week and it's craziness. So we're doing the Lax in Paradise tour in Costa Rica at the end of July after all the major lacrosse showcases are over. So for our families, this is a chance for the best vacation you're ever going to have because Costa Rica is just phenomenal. Costa Rica, there's nothing better. All right. It is beautiful. This tour we do in Costa Rica is an A-plus tour. And while you're there, you're going to train with our coaches. You're going to practice. You're going to compete a couple of times against the Costa Rican national lacrosse team. So it is going to be a spectacular tour. But for the lacrosse families, it's a chance to enjoy your vacation time right after tournament season ends, but still keep playing lacrosse for your kids. So it's like a lacrosse fantasy camp, if you ask me. You get a chance to go through the rainforest to the waterfalls, zip through the rainforest, hop on a boat, enjoy tropical paradise, get some swimming in, relax. Oh, but your kids are going to play lacrosse against a national team from another country and have practice time and training time with college coaches. Does it get better? Like it doesn't. Like you're crazy to not want this tour if you're a lacrosse player. So we are literally going to be bigger and better next year than we were this year. And we're pretty spectacular this year. So it's exciting. I can't wait to see what the next year brings. And we just have a lot of fun things that we're planning. I was in North Carolina a couple weeks ago with Tim. Fun fact, and Tim, I don't know if we talked about this while I was there. I had not seen Tim Ryerson in person as a Student Athlete World USA employee. Now, keep in mind, this is my 4th year with the company. I met with Tim for my job interview, and then I met with Tim 2 weeks ago and nothing in between. And we had a great time. Obviously, Tim, we have to do this more often, and it's an hour and change flight, so there's no excuse, but I'm glad I made the trip. And just a lot of great conversation about the company, about the year ahead, about sports in general. By the way, we may not be done with new tours yet for next year. I'm just going to throw that one out there. There's a couple of things in mind that I have that we've talked about. We just aren't announcing it yet, but there's a chance things are going to grow even further for 2026. Stay tuned. But yeah, great times ahead. And speaking of Tim, I don't know why, but whenever I think of Tim, I think of football season, probably because I like to have a lot of fun with Tim with football. But where I am in Connecticut, like right now it's 60 degrees out. I'm in a hoodie and it's August. I love it. I'm a cold weather guy. So, but when you get that little bit of a chill in the air, like last night was in the low 50s where I live in Connecticut, you start to think about the fall. And like right now, the New York Giants are kicking off their last preseason game against New England Patriots. I was at the Giants-Jets preseason game last weekend. It was a great experience. So like football's in the air, and we're getting closer to my favorite part of the year when all the major sports, and I say major sports, to me there are 6 of them. There's baseball, football, basketball, hockey, then there's college football, college basketball. They all happen at the same time. That's coming soon. That is my favorite part of the year, when there's something awesome on TV around the clock. So that's coming out real soon. And so we're open for interviews. My schedule's been pretty packed beginning this week with interviews, and that's continuing. We have bigger and better and more tours than ever before. Football's in the air. This is just the best time of the year. I can't help but smile. And Tim, when it comes to football, remember, with Wisconsin, it's lose, L-O-S-E, not loose, L-O-O-S-E. Don't make that mistake, Tim, because college football season's almost here, and you got the Badgers coming, so it's lose, not loose, okay? So just don't forget that part, Tim. And as much as I like to bust on you about football, Tim, we're in this together this year. This is you and me. with Wisconsin football. Because something I learned at MetLife Stadium watching the Giants and Jets game last weekend, Russell Wilson, the starting quarterback of the New York Football Giants, is a Wisconsin alum. I don't know if he's a grad, but he played there. I did not know this because I never had a reason to follow Russell Wilson before. He's not a Giant, or he wasn't a Giant. So the way I see it, Tim, my personal success in football this year is your personal success. Because forget about the Badgers. We know what they're going to do. Right? Not much. But if the Giants have a resurgent season with their schedule is going to be a bear. I don't think there's going to be great things for the Giants. But if they have a resurgent season, it's going to be because of a Wisconsin alum. All right. There hasn't been this prominent of a Wisconsin alum with the New York Football Giants since the great Ron Dayne, right, Tim? I think he scored a touchdown once. Oh boy. But anyway, we're in this together this year. I'm excited for football season. So yeah, really cool things going on. So what in the world? This week's What in the World is brought to you by Duck Donuts. If you're still watching, have you been to Duck Donuts? Because I have to tell you, I'd heard of Duck Donuts before. Like there's a lot of them in Pennsylvania. I'm in Pennsylvania a good amount for other reasons. I never tried one until one opened near me recently. Oh my goodness. If you don't know what Duck Donuts is, look this up. They fry the donut while you're there. So think about Dunkin' Donuts. When I was a kid, there was a commercial all the time to make the donuts. And it was the guy with the mustache, and that's how I can describe him, waking up at like 4 a.m. while it's still dark out to make the donuts. And what that means is with Dunkin', the donuts aren't fresh. Like, they're good. If I had one in front of me right now, I'd eat it, but not the best donuts you'll ever eat because, unless you're going at like 5:30 in the morning when a lot of Dunkin's open, they're not fresh. And then Krispy Kreme came along. I don't know if they're around anymore, but I feel like they were a phase where everyone ate Krispy Kreme all the time, then they stopped. Duck Donuts isn't that national coastal phenomenon, but honestly, probably the best donut I've ever eaten. They fry it right in front of you. They frost it right in front of you. You're still eating it warm. We're talking about subsistence level food stuff here. So What in the World this week is brought to you by Duck Donuts. Welcome aboard, Duck Donuts. You'll be seeing me real soon. But anyway, 2 things. Number 1, good luck to the Metro Little League baseball team. They are from Fairfield, Connecticut, which is 5-10 minutes in that direction from me. All right. And a little League baseball history, I think it was 1983, maybe 84. The town I live in, Trumbull, Connecticut, won the Little League World Series championship. I'd never actually been to Connecticut then, let alone live there. But that's probably the most famous thing about Trumbull, besides the awful mall that we have. But now here we have Fairfield, Connecticut, Team Metro in the U.S. Little League World Series championship game. 2 wins away from the Little League World Series championship. It has been so much fun. I actually hate the Little League World Series. I just feel like it's too much pressure for a bunch of 12 and 13-year-olds. Too much of a spotlight, in my opinion. I've never enjoyed it, even when I was younger, but certainly this year I am. It's fun to watch. So go get them, Fairfield. Bring it home for Connecticut. We're not just going to be a basketball state anymore if you guys win 2 more games. So awesome stuff. Speaking of baseball, What in the World Major League Baseball. So I have taken on a renewed interest in baseball this summer. Not sure why, because the Mets have been so hot or so cold. But I've been to a few Mets games this summer and watched a lot more baseball than I'm used to watching, and I'm enjoying it. Part of the reason why I'm enjoying baseball more than ever is I think the changes to Major League Baseball have been very well received. The pitch clock being the most prominent one. The games are just more efficient. They're faster. 2 hours to 2.5 hours and you're going home. I love it. It's been great going to games. I think, at least for the Mets, they're doing a lot more during the game to make it more of an event, more enjoyable to watch. So anyway, the All-Star game not long ago. Rob Manfred, the Major League Baseball commissioner, was interviewed, or maybe it was the Little League Classic on Sunday. He was interviewed from Williamsport, Pennsylvania, where the Mets were playing. I don't remember where they were playing more. I think the Royals, maybe, I don't know, whoever the Mets were playing Sunday night. So he came on and talked about realignment, where like right now you have the Mets and the Yankees 8 miles apart, and they're not in the same division. And the Red Sox and Yankees are in the same division, but the Mets and Red Sox are not, because you have the American League and the National League. And so he's talked about radical realignment, where like the Mets, the Yankees, the Red Sox, the Blue Jays, the Nationals, maybe a few others, are now going to be in the same division. And you just go strictly geographic. And there's a rationale, because when I was younger, or up until not long ago, the American League had a designated hitter and the National League did not. And it was, very different games you're talking about. So you had a reason to have an American and National League. Now that there's interleague play, and now that there's a DH in both the American National Leagues, to Rob Manfred, it makes sense to realign and kind of reshuffle the deck and go strictly by geography. I cannot begin to express the level of hatred I have for that idea. Like, what in the world, guys? Baseball has been around for a very long time, as has Major League Baseball. And I just think there are certain traditions that you honor that are almost holy when it comes to baseball. I don't want the Mets and Yankees in the same division. Okay. Same reason I don't think the Los Angeles Angels and Los Angeles Dodgers should be in the same division. There are some traditions you just don't have to break, and I don't see a particular demand for baseball realignment. Sorry. I think the game, now you want to expand to more teams, God bless you, have that. I just think the way the game is currently aligned works. I haven't like interleague play, to be honest. I wish the only time the American National League played against each other was the All-Star game and the World Series, the way it used to be. I like the designated hitter in the NL, but I just don't have a desire to see teams play by geography. All right. And I don't know if there's much of a taste for that right now. I could be wrong. My finger's not that much on the pulse of baseball. I know I hate this. And again, some traditions are not meant to be broken. Football, the NFC East, New York Giants, makes sense. Washington Commanders, makes sense. Philadelphia Eagles, makes sense. Then the Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys not in the East. All right, there are a number of teams further east than Dallas. But historically, Giants, Cowboys, Commanders, Cowboys, even Eagles, Cowboys, historic rivals. Every time they play each other, it's an event. I've seen the Giants play each one of those teams in person at the game. The atmosphere just hits differently. They have like Giants play the Patriots who are playing tonight, even the Jets. So the NFL has not done any type of realignment impacting the Cowboys. And there could be other teams. I haven't studied that carefully because they understand the history and heritage of the NFL. Baseball, I think the history and heritage of Major League Baseball is even deeper than it is in football. Maybe any other sport but hockey. I think the NHL, the original six, has a deeper, more storied history and heritage. Baseball, just don't mess with this. There's nothing broken here. All right. You have ratings are great for baseball. In-person attendance is great. The game is in a good place. There are some rule changes, such as the pitch clock, that have made a very positive difference. Hitters are hitting home runs. You made it through the steroid era. Don't fix what isn't broken. Okay? Keep that tradition alive. Now, on the flip side, am I going to stop watching if they realign? Of course not. Mets fan for life, as bad as they are right now. But at the same time, it's just less meaningful when you change things that drastically. And I think it'd be a mistake. Just my opinion. So that's it for latest spin this week. So much fun to be back. So excited for the year ahead. And if you're watching this, I want you to come travel with us. There's only one way to do it. Go to studentathleteworld.com, complete your application, interview with me, and pack your bags. Great to be back. See everyone next week. Enjoy your week.